This time we have the two stock 7 Elements Yagi for 140 to 150 megahertz. What we will be doing now is to confirm the actual frequency response of the antenna using an actual load, the Yaesu 2900 radio, and check the frequency response which we tested yesterday using antenna analyzer. This time we'll be using an analog SWR meter, which is an SX400. So we have the same antenna. This is now mounted on the tripod and connected to the crossboom, which I use for testing. We have the same configuration for the tuning stub. It's positioned the way it was yesterday. Same with the other side of the antenna. So as you can see, I'm using a longer boom. That is because when I need to adjust the spacing, I can do it without replacing the cross boom. So this is now connected to the pacing harness on both sides of the antenna, running to the T connector, going to the feed line, and at the back of the SX400. This is the antenna side and this is the transmit side, which is connected to the Yaesu 2900. The antenna side is connected to the feed line going to the antenna. So let's check the VSWR response using the SX400 to confirm our result from antenna analyzer. So yesterday we got 147 at 1.1:1, and the exact center frequency is 146, around 146.6. So let's confirm that from 140 to 150 megahertz. So first, let's check the intended frequency of use, which is 147. Let's calibrate the antenna. We are on forward power, we are on calibrate position, and on 200 watts settings. So let's adjust the radio power output. So let's press the PTT and calibrate. We need to adjust a bit for full deflection. So we are on full deflection. Let's switch to SWR position and recheck the SWR. As we can see here, we have 1.1 SWR on 147. Let's check 146,600, which is the exact frequency, or the frequency with the lowest dip on our antenna analyzer. Let's recalibrate. So I'm on the calibrate position. Let's readjust a bit. So 146.6. Let's switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we have almost the same deflection, almost 1:1 VSWR on 146.6. So let's go down to 146, recalibrate. So we are on correct deflection, full deflection on this SWR needle. Switch to SWR mode. As we can see here, we have 1.1.5 on 146, or almost 1.2. Let's check 145. Let's recalibrate. We need to adjust the needle a bit for full deflection. So 145, let's switch to SWR mode. So as we can see here, almost 1.2 as well. Let's check 144. Let's recalibrate. We are on full deflection. Switch to SWR. As we can see, we are on exact 1.2 on the needle. Let's move to 143. Let's recalibrate. Adjust for full deflection. And switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we are 1.4 on 143. Let's check 142. Let's recalibrate. Press the PTT, adjust the needle, release, switch to SWR position. And as we can see, we are on 1.6 on 142. Let's move to 141. Let's recalibrate. Readjust the needle for full deflection. Release. Switch to SWR position. Press the PTT. As we can see, we are on 1.7 on 141. And let's check 140. Let's recalibrate. 140, full deflection, switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we move down to 1.4 as well. Same with the frequency response on the antenna analyzer. Let's move to 147 again. Let's recalibrate. Press the PTT. So we need to adjust the needle to full deflection. We are on the correct deflection. Switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we have a very little movement on the needle on 147, almost the same as the center frequency 146.6 at 1:1 BSWR. So let's move to 148. Let's recalibrate. We need to adjust the needle for full deflection a little bit. Release. Switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we have 1.2 on 148. Let's move to 149. Let's recalibrate. We need to adjust the needle for full deflection. Release. Switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we have 1.4 or 1.3.5 is to 1 BSWR on 149. And let's finally check 150. We have a beacon signal. We have full deflection. Switch to SWR. As we can see, we have 1.6 on our needle. So this is 1.1 is to 1 BSWR on 147 and 146.6, almost 1 is to 1 on the intended frequency of use. So let's recheck. Press the PTT. We have to adjust the needle for full deflection. Release. Switch to SWR mode. As we can see, we have very little movement. Let's check now the power output. We are on forward power. As we can see here, we have full 60 watts. Full 60 watts of power. on 147 using the Yaesu 2900. So I'm pressing it to confirm. It's 60 watts. The VSWR is 1:1 for 146. Let's adjust a bit. Switch to SWR mode. It's almost 1.5 or 1.2 SWR on 146. For the exact center frequency, 146,600, or the frequency with the lowest dip on the SWR meter yesterday, or on the antenna analyzer that we used yesterday. So it's 1:1, as we can see. Very little deflection on the needle. So this antenna is properly calibrated to the working frequency as requested by Mr. Jason Ladaran. So I'm going to pack the antenna, and this is ready for shipping. So I'm going to use a PVC pipe to pack this antenna, because this is a very long antenna and we are careful that it won't be damaged when we ship the antenna, because last time when I ship it using cartoon packaging, unfortunately LBC messed up with the package and I have to replace the antenna. Thank you for watching.